Hollow Knight, a Metroidvania masterpiece more people need to play. Hollow Knight is one of the best Metroidvania games out there, offering a deep, challenging, and beautifully crafted experience. While it has a loyal fan base, it never got the mainstream attention it truly deserves. Hollow Knight is all about tight, responsive combat and fluid exploration. You control a small, silent warrior navigating the vast underground kingdom of Hallownest, a hauntingly gorgeous world filled with hidden secrets, brutal enemies, and intense boss fights. The game's platforming feels precise, and every upgrade, whether it's a new ability like wall jumping or a stronger attack, opens up more of the interconnected world. The challenge is where Hollow Knight truly shines. It doesn't hold your hand, forcing you to learn enemy patterns, master movement, and explore without waypoints. Boss fights are tough, but fair, rewarding skill and persistence. What makes Hollow Knight so underrated is how much it offers for its price. With hand-drawn visuals, a stunning soundtrack, and a massive world to explore, it rivals big-budget titles. Yet, it remains one of the best-kept secrets in gaming, overshadowed by more mainstream releases. If you love games that test your skills, reward exploration, and immerse you in a beautifully eerie world, Hollow Knight is a must-play. The medium. No one can fault the medium for not being innovative. This psychological thriller employs unique dual reality gameplay that lets players experience two parallel worlds simultaneously. As you explore the physical and spiritual world, uncovering what happened at the Niwa Resort, the atmospheric narrative, combined with the haunting soundtrack, will make for a deeply chilling experience. The game had issues at launch like bugs and optimization problems, and that pushed players away from it. Plus, the gameplay might feel weird initially, but if you stay with the game, you'll find the experience worth your time. As you get deeper into the story and utilize your unique abilities to fight the dangers of the spirit world, the game will prove to be one of the best horror experiences you've ever had. Prey is one of the most overlooked sci-fi games of the last decade. It blends first-person exploration, immersive sim mechanics, and intense survival horror elements into a truly unique experience. Despite its incredible gameplay depth, Prey was overshadowed at launch and never got the mainstream recognition it deserved. The gameplay is what makes Prey so special. You're trapped on Talos I, a massive space station overrun by the mysterious alien Typhon. Unlike traditional shooters, Prey encourages creativity. Combat isn't just about firepower, but how you adapt. You can use a variety of weapons, craft gadgets, or even gain alien powers, letting you shapeshift, control gravity, or unleash devastating attacks. The Forgotten City is one of the most unique and underrated narrative-driven games ever made. Originally a Skyrim mod, it was expanded into a full-fledged game with a gripping story, deep role-playing elements, and a fascinating time loop mechanic. Despite its brilliance, it remains overlooked, likely due to its indie origins and lack of mainstream marketing. At its core, The Forgotten City is an interactive mystery set in an ancient Roman city trapped in a time loop. The city operates under the Golden Rule: if even one person sins, everyone turns to gold. As a modern-day traveler mysteriously pulled back in time, your goal is to uncover who will break the rule and find a way to escape. What makes the gameplay so special is the freedom to approach the mystery however you like. You can question suspects, gather clues, manipulate events, and even use persuasion or deception to change outcomes. Every loop lets you refine your strategy, making each choice feel meaningful.
See when we was kids?
Yeah, why?
The guy we're meeting here is one of them. I think he's got something big for us.
Boom, 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 boom.
You pull this off, I won't forget it. Trust me.
Mafia 2, the most underrated crime story game. Mafia 2 is one of the most overlooked open-world games ever made, delivering a cinematic, story-driven experience that rivals even the best crime dramas. While it never reached the mainstream success of Grand Theft Auto, its gripping narrative, immersive world, and realistic gameplay make it a hidden gem that deserves more attention. At its core, Mafia 2 isn't about chaotic open-world mayhem. You play as Vito Scaletta, a war veteran drawn into the dangerous world of organized crime. The game focuses on storytelling with detailed cutscenes, strong character development, and a plot that feels like a classic gangster movie. Every mission is handcrafted with a sense of purpose, unlike many open-world games that rely on repetitive side content. The gameplay is great and realistic. Gunplay is weighty. Driving isn't just arcade-style fun vehicles handled realistically, complete with error-accurate physics and even fuel consumption.
We have our orders. Leave the city, radio command from outside the storm wall. They send in the cavalry, we go home.
Spec Ops: The Line, the most underrated shooter with a dark twist. At first glance, Spec Ops: The Line looks like a standard third-person military shooter, but beneath the surface, it's one of the most thought-provoking and underrated games ever made. While it didn't get the recognition it deserved at launch, its intense gameplay and unforgettable story make it a hidden gem worth experiencing. Gameplay-wise, Spec Ops: The Line delivers solid third-person cover shooting, but what sets it apart is how it uses combat to reinforce its psychological narrative. Set in a sandstorm-ravaged Dubai, the game constantly challenges the player, not just with enemies but with morally complex choices that affect how the story unfolds. The brutal firefights feel weighty and intense, with a mix of urban warfare and environmental destruction playing a key role. Sandstorms can change the battlefield, creating unpredictable combat situations. As you progress, the game forces you to question your actions, blurring the line between hero and villain. Inspired by Apocalypse Now, the story takes unexpected psychological turns, leading to one of the most shocking and unforgettable endings in gaming history. Spec Ops: The Line was overlooked because it launched in a market dominated by Call of Duty and Battlefield, and many players didn't expect such a deep, emotionally challenging experience from a shooter. But if you're looking for a game that not only delivers engaging combat, but also makes you rethink everything you know about war games, Spec Ops: The Line is a must-play. Prototype, the underrated power fantasy you need to play. Prototype is an open-world action game that delivers one of the most satisfying power trips in the gaming world. You play as Alex Mercer, a man with no memory but terrifying abilities, navigating the infected streets of New York City. What makes Prototype so underrated is its incredible gameplay, fast, brutal, and ridiculously fun. At its core, Prototype is all about movement and destruction. You can sprint up skyscrapers, glide across the city, and shapeshift into devastating bioweapons, turning every fight into pure chaos. Combat is fluid and over the top, letting you unleash brutal combos, absorb enemies to steal their memories, and tear through military forces and infected creatures alike. Despite being compared to Infamous, Prototype leans more into sheer mayhem than morality. The dark, gritty atmosphere, combined with Alex's brutal combat abilities, makes you feel like an unstoppable force of destruction. Subnautica, the most underrated survival game you need to play. Subnautica is one of the most immersive and unique survival games ever made, yet it still doesn't get the full recognition it deserves. While many survival games focus on crafting and base building, Subnautica sets itself apart with its deep-sea exploration, stunning underwater world, and a gripping sense of mystery. The gameplay is where it truly shines. Stranded on an alien ocean planet, you must gather resources, craft equipment, and build underwater bases while managing oxygen levels and fending off dangerous creatures. Unlike traditional survival games that take place on land, Subnautica forces you to adapt to an ever-changing and often terrifying aquatic environment. What makes it so underrated is its perfect balance between beauty and horror. The game doesn't rely on cheap jump scares. Instead, it builds tension through its eerie deep-sea environments, limited visibility, and the constant fear of what lurks below. And beyond just surviving, there's a compelling mystery to uncover, with an engaging story that slowly unravels as you explore the planet. Many players overlook it because survival games can feel repetitive, but this one is different. It offers a handcrafted, narrative-driven experience alongside its open-world freedom, making it more than just another crafting game. If you love exploration and the thrill of the unknown, Subnautica is an underrated masterpiece that you absolutely need to play. Dishonored 2, the most underrated stealth game ever made. Dishonored 2 is an absolute masterpiece of stealth and player freedom, yet it never got the recognition it truly deserved. While its predecessor gained some attention, Dishonored 2 refined everything that made the first game great, offering even more creative gameplay, breathtaking level design, and an immersive world. Unfortunately, it was overshadowed by bigger releases at the time and never reached the mainstream success it should have. The gameplay is where it truly shines. You can play as either Corvo Atano or Emily Caldwin, each with their own unique supernatural abilities. The game gives you complete freedom in how you approach missions. Go in as a silent assassin, eliminating targets without being seen, or use brutal combat to carve a path through enemies. You can even complete the game without killing a single person, making every playthrough feel unique. What makes Dishonored 2 so special is its level design. Missions like the Clockwork Mansion and a crack in the slab showcase some of the most innovative and mind-bending environments in gaming history, giving players the ability to manipulate space and time in ways no other game has done. So why is Dishonored 2 underrated? Poor marketing, a rough PC launch, and competition from bigger AAA games meant it didn't get the attention it deserved. But for those who love stealth, deep world building, and creative gameplay, Dishonored 2 is a hidden gem that absolutely should not be missed. Sleeping Dogs is one of the best open-world action games ever made, yet it never got the recognition it truly deserved. Often overshadowed by GTA and other crime-based open-world games, Sleeping Dogs sets itself apart with its gripping story, fluid combat, and deep martial arts-inspired gameplay. You play as Wei Shin, an undercover cop infiltrating the dangerous triads in Hong Kong. The game's story is a perfect blend of crime thriller and undercover cop drama, with engaging characters and tense moments that keep you hooked. But where Sleeping Dogs really shines is in its gameplay. Unlike other open-world games that rely on gunplay, Sleeping Dogs focuses on hand-to-hand combat. Inspired by classic kung fu films, the combat system is fluid, impactful, and incredibly satisfying. You can counter enemy attacks, use environmental takedowns, and chain brutal combos, making every fight feel cinematic. On top of that, the driving mechanics are smooth, featuring intense car chases, stunt-based takedowns, and high-speed action that adds to the game's adrenaline rush. If you're looking for an open-world game with an amazing story, top-tier melee combat, and a setting that stands out from the usual crime dramas, Sleeping Dogs is an underrated masterpiece that you need to play. At the end of the video, I would love to know your thoughts, and what game do you feel is the most underrated? And as always, stay tuned and like and subscribe for more.